Hey guys, Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who Classic. Last time around we finished up The Ambassadors of Death. What was that one about?
Well, it turns out that the three astronauts who were missing were actually on an alien ship, and I don't know if it was mind control, but they had them believing that they had already returned to Earth and were in quarantine, and it turns out that the three aliens were in fact ambassadors of this race, and that being used by the bad guys, was about to blow up the entire planet. So anyway, the Doctor manages to fix it all, and we all live happily ever after.
Yeah, pretty much. So they were nice aliens, but we did not have nice humans who met them, and so
they also had the unfortunate thing that they couldn't really directly communicate with us, and when they touched people, they died. So obviously that would be misinterpreted by certain people as hostile, and other people as, here's a new weapon that we can use to take over the world.
Yeah, basically. So, and then at the end, they were going to send the three ambassadors up and get the three astronauts back down, and the Doctor was like, well, good luck with that, and he just left. So, he's not going to be bothered to deal with that. So, today we are moving on to Inferno, the final serial of Season 7.
Wow. That seems rather short.
It really does. It feels like we just started this season. So, now obviously, again, this is 7 parts, so we are going to be splitting it up over 2 videos like always. But yeah, this is going to go by pretty quick, I think.
I had a very bizarre idea when I saw this last week that this was called Inferno. I was like, all right, so Doctor Who goes back to Renaissance or pre-Renaissance Italy and takes a journey with Dante down into the underworld and the what is it, the 9 levels of hell?
9 levels.
9 levels of hell, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
now there's an idea. New Who writers, do work on that.
Yeah. Now see, where we both thought, while the Doctor goes to hell, basically, you thought of Dante's Inferno, I thought of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. So, which this is still before, but still. So yeah, we have very differing views on how to go to hell, basically. I was gonna try to make some sort of joke like, well, it's either way, it's not whatever the view of the Catholics is to go to hell, but I don't know.
Oh, and before I forget, this morning I saw a clip from a new BBC, I'm guessing it's a short miniseries, David Tennant as Phileas Fogg in a brand new adaptation of Around the World in 80 Days. So, if that's on BBC, so I don't know if we'll be able to see it or not, but I would love to be able to react to that before Good Omens comes out again in its 2nd season.
Sure, I could work on penciling that in somewhere. So, perhaps look out for that in your subscription boxes, or on Patreon. If you're over at the Patreon, you can see it 1 week early through early access for only $5 a month.
Help support this poor young college student.
Former college
student.
That's what makes it worse, is I can't even give the excuse that I'm in college anymore. So
he's an ex-student.
Yeah. So
he is no more.
Yeah. I also saw that they just announced an animation for Galaxy 4.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
And I thought there was going to be a preview, but I saw a couple of stills, but that was about it.
Okay. I didn't watch it. I assumed it was a full trailer, but I guess not.
Yeah.
So
it's coming out it said November from what I recall. So
yeah. And pretty much every time one of these animateds comes up, we are asked, are we going to react to it? And the fact of the matter is, we haven't yet, so probably not.
I don't know, though. It's got the Chumblies in it.
You really want to try with Galaxy 4? We could do some... We could try to make it maybe more interesting. Instead of just a normal reaction, we could try doing some sort of strange commentary or a live commentary or something. That could be kind of interesting if we did sort of a live stream watch party of Galaxy 4. That does not sound like the episode you would want to do that for.
But remember, it is only 4 episodes, so we can get it done in one afternoon.
Yeah, so maybe
something to look forward to.
We'll think about it. But yeah. In the meantime, we still have Inferno to get through, so no idea what we're going to be getting into. Is it going to be Hell? Is it going to be Dante? Is it going to be Bill and Ted? let's just go ahead and find out.
I can't even read it. It's so small type there.
Ah, good.
All right.
Then let's get going.
Inferno Part 1. All right, volcano. That's certainly an inferno.
Yeah, it's a good start. I'm curious how this volcano and inferno is going to be in the south of London.
What, no kickstand?
Like I said, it wasn't invented yet.
Still anyway, like man. Sound more like a flipping dentist.
Oh, for a second, I thought he was a milkman.
We still would have had, well, we had milkmen delivered to our house in 63 and 64.
Oh, yes, I'd like you to have... As executive director of this project, my concern...
Your concern is with such important matters as the canteen facilities and the new roster for the cleaners. Anything to do with the drilling is my concern, and mine alone. And that includes minor maintenance problems.
So it's going to be one of these episodes.
There's no such thing as a minor problem.
Oh, well, now look what you've done.
That was quick.
Oh, he's already possessed.
By the green goo.
Nuh.
Interesting cut.
Nuh.
Morning, sir.
Benton's
The
back.
best I could do is on such short notice.
It'll do. Have you contacted the doctor?
I guess he must just be the number
Anything
2.
on Slocum?
Which one's you?
Well, don't you recognize the one?
No, don't tell me. Let me guess. What, none of them?
Fifth from the left, third row.
Yes, well, if it's true, I can see why you grew that moustache.
Nuh.
Well, it's a matter of great scientific interest, my dear fellow. First penetration of the Earth's crust. Well, naturally, I'm interested.
A robot drill with its built-in power source, fed by cables from our own nuclear reactor. 20 miles.
The deepest well in Oklahoma is only about 6 miles deep.
As a matter of fact, some of the technicians have nicknamed this place the Inferno. Come on.
Aha, title drop.
May I present Professor Eric Starman, the instigator of the entire project?
Instigator. You make it sound as if I'd perpetrated some crime against humanity.
Hardly that, Professor. This is Mr. Sutton.
Well, so long as you don't
So
try
I
to
gather
blow up the world while you're
I'm a
at
recruit
it.
to your cause. We see them everywhere. Advisors on this, advisors on that. Look, there's another one.
Nuh.
Cost thousands to put that right. Waste of valuable time and money. Hmm?
I'm rapidly losing patience with that man.
Man, already? The episode just started.
It's only a door handle.
Was that the sonic screwdriver?
It looked like it, but
Kinda.
it was basically the garage remote.
Yeah.
How are things at Central Control?
Oh, usual
Wait,
friction
so
between Sakith and
He
Starman.
did take
Did you see the
the
Brigadier?
TARDIS console out of the TARDIS.
Okay. Werewolves of London.
Turning into Richard Pryor. Hope nobody's John Pertwee epileptic.
Be interesting to split the Doctor actually into 2 people.
Nuh. Well, he's really the weird part of this episode.
Oddly enough, looks a little like the original Beast from X-Men.
Yeah.
Kind of hairy and blue.
Yeah. So, not quite pulling it off as well as like Kelsey Grammer, but she's trying.
Yeah.
I think. Honestly, I think this guy's problem is his mustache. His mustache is a little too silly. In general, you make it all weird and stuff with the blue, and it just looks even worse.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that certainly jumped right into the middle of the episode with very little exposition.
Yeah.
One line, we're drilling to try to get through the Earth's crust to bring up this gas energy source, that it's Stallman's gas. And the Doctor and apparently Unit have already been there for quite some time, so we didn't have any exposition.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting to just jump right into the middle of it.
Yeah. After 3 stories where it is sort of, they do just sort of walk into it like, okay, here we are. Yes, now we're a part of this. I have my soldiers. I will have my headquarters and stuff. But even then, like last episode, they sort of went into it a bit quicker as well. Like, well, Unit's already here. Now we just have to bring in the Doctor. This episode, it's, well, everyone's already here. Jump into it. Let's get going. I do love, though, just the consistency of the Brigadier's headquarters. Like, there's always one room that this guy can take, So, and I guess hang up his own pictures. How long does he think he's going to be there if he's hanging up his old high school pictures and stuff?
I don't think those were high school. That was probably his early military career.
Oh, yeah. It was still back when he was a youngin', before the mustache.
Before the mustache.
So.
Yeah, I rarely remember anything before my mustache. We've discussed this before, so.
Yeah. We don't need to bring all that up again. This is one of those times, though, I wish we could be like, well, if you go back to this episode, at this time code, you can go listen to our discussion about beards and mustaches. However, we don't know our own videos that well, so...
we're just cranking them out.
Yeah. So, but an interesting premise, definitely.
Yeah. Now, there was something else that we referred to where they were drilling and we thought they were going to crack open the Earth's core, and I mentioned that film Crack in the World where they literally blew out a second moon. That does sound vaguely familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah. The only thing I can think is Fury from the Deep, because that was also sort of this, we go to this place and, they're sort of drilling.
What about the Atlantis thing? What was that?
The Underwater Menace. I don't remember if they were drilling per se, but they were trying to, or maybe they were trying to drill to lift Atlantis, and that was the thing, was that the Atlanteans were like, yes, we'll bring Atlantis back to the surface, and the professor was like, I can blow up the Earth. Isn't that great? And then obviously they had to stop him. But yeah, I don't remember what. I think it was also drilling in Fury from the Deep, though, and that's the thing. Honestly, this guy Stallman is a lot like Robson. He's just like, you don't have the authority to do this. I'll say if it's an emergency, even though everything is on fire.
Was that meme about the dog sitting in the fire? Everything's fine.
This is fine.
Fine.
So yeah, this guy is very much like that. And then down to, all these experts and advisors. We don't need them. There's too much, which we've had since the Ice Warriors. The biggest problem with that is that it is just realistic, and that still happens. That's still topical. And that specific thing too of we don't need these experts and advisors. We got too many of them with all their opinions and stuff. We've had that since the Ice Warriors. That was maybe mid-season 5, I think. And yeah, this still going. It will probably keep going at this rate throughout the show, and it will always, unfortunately, be topical. So, I was not expecting the goo to turn him into a werewolf, though.
If that is in fact what he is,
it
made him hairier and blue.
Thing, yeah. So that was kind of weird. Like, okay, when he touched it at first, my immediate thought is this is some sort of acid or something. But then it possesses him. It's like, oh, okay, this is sort of the alien substance that possesses the random worker, and then you go from there. But then he just walks in and he's all blue and hairy and stuff, and it's like, okay,
ready?
Yeah. And it is one of those things where I know when I make the thumbnail for this episode because this guy just gets a ton of hair. It's something where I would want to put like Photoshop a ton of hair on our arms and stuff. The problem is we already kind of have that.
Yeah.
So we're already a little too hairy. We already look like werewolves, so that doesn't work. So probably for this thumbnail though, in the background, instead of the normal red that I do, I'll probably just put the volcano from the intro. So I'm assuming we're going to get a volcano, not just we call this place the Inferno. Oof. Really burning. Oh, this one's green.
Listen to me.
Splat.
Youch.
Don't touch him!
A bottle of goo.
The start of a lava lamp.
Well, I doubt whether it will cool down.
And who the devil asked you?
I was just venturing an opinion.
Based on what?
Krakatoa, actually.
Oh, that's gonna help.
I have to... That computer is oversensitive. Its data is unreliable.
You talk about the thing as though it was your maiden aunt.
My own calculations are more specific.
Yes, well, I'll tell you something that should be of vital interest to you, Professor.
But what?
That you, sir, are a nitwit.
Professor, come quickly.
Well, look at it, man. Are you blind?
That computer, as I have said, is inaccurate.
Why do you have
Please
it?
yourself, sir.
And nobody saw him do that.
No, I guess not.
Could prove you wrong. Now give me that micro, sir.
I have it!
Doctor! What on earth do you think you're doing? Venusian karate.
Hey.
It's very effective. I tell you, he had a microcircuit in his pocket.
Well, it isn't there now. And after all, he is in charge.
Got some hair out of place there, Brigadier.
No.
Well, I suppose I've got something better to do with my time anyway.
Like I should talk.
No.
Thank you.
It would help if you had a normal door as well.
I think that's chroma key. I think the outside was filmed separately.
I'd say we could do that here, but if I take out the wall, it's going to take out her skin too. Oh, I guess she has one too anyway. Oh, I took the car too! Well, alright then.
So this is turning into a massive subplot of the Doctor trying to escape.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's last story of the season. I guess you have to try with the Doctor trying to get away.
But he's leaving right in the middle of what appears to be something that's going to become a worldwide emergency.
Well, yeah. Maybe he's thinking he'll just pop right back at the same time he left. As if the TARDIS has ever been that accurate in his life. So, yeah, it's very interesting. You know what I'm also wondering? I'm wondering if that's how he got the TARDIS console out of the TARDIS, is that he actually used it to dematerialize out. So maybe, because how is he testing the TARDIS console away from the TARDIS itself?
Yeah.
So maybe he's feeding off of the nuclear power into the TARDIS console, zapping himself, it, and the car, because you have to take the car, back into the TARDIS, and then he's gonna get out of there if he can.
I don't know. Again, it's up until this point, there was a very strong through thread, and now again there's this secondary plot which seems to have nothing to do with the original plot, unless of course he's trying to go back to time to Krakatoa to 1883 and figure out who's causing it.
That could be it. Yeah.
Because he seems rather selfish at this moment.
Yeah. It's an odd time to be doing this. It almost makes me wonder if maybe these were supposed to be two stories, one with the Inferno and one with the Doctor trying to escape again, and they, for some reason, thought maybe it would be better as one story together. So, I don't know. I don't like that the title is never in the same place twice.
Now, Up till now, I've tolerated these crackpot experts and advisors and only offered a
Crackpot
token of
experts.
objection.
And nobody has seen this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally the black spot
Yeah.
of the voodoo curse.
Perfectly.
The doctor has vanished into thin air, and I have a number of unsolved murders on my hands. I promise you, Miss Shaw, I'm worried.
He appears to be back in the hut.
Well, but the hut appears to be different. Thank God you have the car.
Isn't the car facing the other way?
It is, which is weird.
Doesn't even look like the same place.
Well, at least they're a bad shot.
He was in the technical get after him.
It's Benton. Ah, something familiar.
What does it say on his RSF? Ooh, nice work.
No.
And by nice work, I mean nice stunt work.
Well,
Liz? Liz, it's me.
is this the mirror universe?
What's happened to everyone around here?
He's definitely in another dimension, it looks like.
Yeah.
Brigadier, will you kindly tell me what on...
Ah!
Is this the man?
What on earth are you doing in that get-up?
Keep quiet.
You will find it unwise to be insolent. How did you get inside this establishment?
I love that the
How did you
Spock
get in
method
here?
is getting rid of his mustache.
I've been transported from another world. One that is running almost parallel to this one.
He's unbalanced.
No.
Yes,
I
but
see
that's
what
beside
he's
the
trying
point.
to do. He's trying to...
Are you taking this man to see the director?
Why not? Whoever he is, he'll never leave here alive.
So who's the guy on the wall?
I don't know. You know what would be hilarious? If this was a world ruled by Salamander, and they brought in Patrick Troughton.
Carry on, Dr. Williams.
Yes, director.
Keep playing Tetris.
Will you tell the director that we have an emergency develops? There'll be no safeguard of the drill here.
There will be no emergency.
Well, it's still my job to bring the situation to his notice.
Well, this guy doesn't change, apparently.
Shaft blows.
By the way, the outfits here
All safety factors have
very
been
similar
exceeded,
to the
director.
James Bond film Dr. No. The it's not quite a Nehru collar, but yeah, they're really getting into the whole James Bond vibe here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, he's got the infection too.
Oh, no. I know he's getting hairy.
I don't exist in your world.
And you won't feel the bullets when we shoot you.
Look,
Yes.
even the telephones sound different.
You are giving us a great deal of trouble.
I'm delighted to hear that.
Look.
You make...
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Good job. I'm so glad he has that now.
I may be able to repair your computer for you.
Outside. We've got a firing squad waiting for you.
You idiot! If I don't repair this computer, you're the...
Are you coming with me quietly? Or do I shoot you here and now?
This got weird. This got really weird.
Yes, it does happen to be an entire parallel story that we were speculating where's this going. It doesn't seem to make sense, and now it's taken over the entire story. It's the same
Yeah.
story, but it's a different story.
And I imagine the two Earths are going to connect. If they're both having the exact same problem,
Yeah.
something is affecting both of these worlds. I just didn't know that's what we were doing today. I didn't know we were going to get the literally the mirror universe from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Which probably the Star Trek did it first, I guess. So I'd be curious what episode that was. So
it wasn't in the first season, I don't think.
I'm wondering if it would have aired on the BBC yet. So
probably not, because this would have been this would only been like the first season. By the way, before I forget, the whole idea behind karate. Do you know what karate means? We call it karate, but it's actually karate. Apparently, the word kara means empty. So karate is the empty hand. It's how you fight someone without a weapon. You have an empty hand. But much later on, and in a completely different context, there was something called karaoke. Oke being short for the word orchestra. So karaoke is empty orchestra. So when you go into a bar and you sing karaoke, you are singing along to the empty orchestra.
Whoa. That's crazy. that honestly, yeah, that is crazy. The interesting thing about that, though, is that I've always heard it as Venusian Aikido. And specifically Aikido because I think I read somewhere it's supposed to be like a non-violent form. Like, it's not specifically about hurting your opponent, but just disabling them. So the fact that, this is the first time we've heard of it in Doctor Who, but it's Venusian karate, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So, but he's still not... He's using it just to disable his opponents swiftly so he can get away, but glad he's using it, so...
Now, it's very obvious that somebody here in the parallel world, whether it's Sutton, the oil man, or Benton, or even Liz, or the brigade leader, somebody is going to start going, wait a minute, this guy knows too much.
Yeah.
So maybe we should start listening to it.
It might be Sutton, because honestly, Sutton seems kind of the same.
Yeah.
All things considered, he's the only one that's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
He's just a bit more well dressed. So
RSF is Republican Security Forces.
Yes, they killed the Royals.
During World War II.
Yeah.
And yet they are almost Nazi-like. I was going to say it's going to be something like, the Royal Society of Fascists.
Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like.
So, it's definitely Star Trek mirror universe. Down to the fact that it's okay, so we have to make them all look different. The Brigadier definitely, that is a Spock's goatee difference of... And I love, too, because we know his mustache was never real. They always had to give him a fake mustache, so it's easy just take the mustache off and give him an eye patch and a little scar.
Now, Stallman, I was really surprised because his beard in the real world looked very real. It was so much better than some of the other makeup effects that we've seen.
Yeah.
And so now when he's clean shaven, it's like, whoa, that's... Unless, now this is... If they filmed it out of sequence and filmed all of this stuff after, the actor could have actually gone in and shaved off his beard and mustache.
Yeah, and because I imagine they don't do reshoots ever, so it's probably okay. If they'll never do a reshoot, so he doesn't need to grow back his goatee. Yeah. So
wasn't that something that happened with Henry Cavill?
Oh yeah, that was for the original cut of Justice League. They had to refilm a lot of bad scenes with Henry Cavill, but he was filming Mission Impossible, and he was contractually obligated to keep his mustache, so they CG'd over his mustache, and it didn't look good in that cut. But then luckily, now we have the Snyder cut of Justice League, where they didn't have to reshoot anything with Henry Cavill, I don't think. They did one or two things with Ben Affleck, and those weren't even reshoots, those were just extra scenes. So, but everything with Henry Cavill, that is his genuine shaved upper lip.
Do you remember the last time I shaved?
I remember you shaving your beard off for Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah.
And that was, good Lord, 14 years ago almost now. You were only about 10.
Yeah.
But I remember you and your brother were freaked out by it because you'd never seen me clean shaven.
Yeah.
Or at least without the beard.
Yeah, it... See, now it makes me think, one day it would be hilarious if when people clicked on these videos and we just both are clean shaven, it would freak people out. And we would hate it, though.
Yeah.
We would absolutely hate it because we enjoy having these. And I've said before, since I've grown my beard, I've never gone clean shaven again. So
now, not that you would want to do this, but I do have a picture of me as Teddy Roosevelt that you could,
I could. It's a matter of if I remember to do it.
Yeah. Now, did you remember to do the one with you and Mickey Mouse?
I did remember to do that after the video was already done and on YouTube. So I had to go back in, put it in, re-encode it, re-upload it, and put it all back on YouTube. So it was an extra 3 hours to...
Yikes, that's not worth it. You could just, put it in somewhere else.
All right, so... Okay, anyway, we still have another episode to go through.
This ought to be fun. Now, I have to say, again, it was an interesting story up until the point where it went weird, and now it's a fascinating story.
Yeah, like there was a bit of a lull trying to get to the parallel universe.
And this is something I'm not sure that the average person would have realized watching it week to week, but the parallel world is like 2 days ahead of the real world.
Yeah.
So they're in danger in the next 3 or 4 hours of blowing up sky high, whereas in the real world they've got like 2 days left. They got like 49 hours.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's entirely possible that the Doctor did travel to a few days into the future, and then if he's able to get back to his universe, it will then take him back those 2 days as well, and then he can fix everything.
Yeah.
If this world blows up, not going to say it's a big loss. So let this one blow up. We'll learn from it. The Doctor goes back and saves our world.
Crisis on multiple Earths.
Yes.
All right, part 4.
Now use it before it's too late.
I wonder if the guy on the wall is like the head honcho at the BBC or something. It's just an Easter egg.
Maybe. I wonder why he can resist it so long.
Name.
You will supervise the transfer of the prisoner to the security cells.
Very well, leader.
At once, if you please.
Yes, leader.
Almost a Sea Kyle.
Since you allowed the man to enter the complex and roam about...
The man was caught. He is no longer a danger to us. The people who sent him, how and why he came here.
I think Nicholas Courtney's having fun.
Then you'd better get him to talk and do it quick.
Lee.
Before the day's over, I want him liquidated.
What about some food?
What if it's somebody else from his world?
Some cocoa?
No.
Hello, chap. How you doing? Been down here long, have you? The friendliness of this establishment overwhelms me.
Man, he's gonna lay down in a suit. Oh, there we're back.
He can look after himself.
He's not indestructible, you know.
Why do you think he keeps changing his face?
By the way, where has he gone?
We're not quite sure.
Well, he's better off out of it, wherever he is.
Oh gosh. Have a mattress.
On the right! Right wheel!
Of course, that guy did not feel the weight of the Doctor in the back there. Or hear him. Yeah, see, they're down to less than an hour.
Wow.
0 minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
I
Final power
guess he could
build-up now completed.
pump power back into the TARDIS console and get out of there.
0 minus 20 seconds. Countdown will now proceed by seconds.
Well, Sutton's a good man at least.
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, that is quite the cliffhanger.
What's worse, getting shot or having the planet blow up?
Well, let's see. If he gets shot, he can at least regenerate. If the planet blows up, not much you can do about that one. Okay.
Now, the one last little thing, which we may see in the final 3 episodes. I realize the Doctor does not exist in the alternate world. But did somebody from the alternate world go back to his world? Because if you remember, in the mirror universe in Star Trek, that actually happened.
Yeah, it swaps out the 2 Kirks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think, because I guess if someone would have swapped with the Doctor, I guess they would have appeared right there, and Liz and the Brigadier were already there when he disappeared. So,
but because the Doctor doesn't exist in that parallel universe, that parallel world, that's why there's not somebody to. But was there somebody else who might have made the switch so that the people in the real world would go, wait a minute, this guy is very suspicious because he doesn't seem to fit in anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I know though that I think technically, and this is sort of heard this from a comment who heard it from another comment sort of thing. I think technically Time Lords only exist in this universe. Like there will never be a doppelganger of the Doctor or anything like that. I think it's something like that, and I definitely know they've said this on another episode of Doctor Who, where the Time Lords used to be able to travel to alternate universes fairly easily. Well, mainly because you need like 4 or 5 TARDISes and Time Lords, fully staffed TARDISes, because each one's supposed to have 6 pilots. So if you have that, then you can easily travel, but the Doctor all by his lonesome can't really do it on his own. So yeah, I don't think that... You're right, obviously there wouldn't be an alternate version of the Doctor, and they even said as much. But yeah, I don't think anyone has traveled from this universe back to Earth 1, I guess. Okay. So...
But now, as far as not being a doppelganger of the Doctor, there are human beings, though, because Hartnell had the Bishop there that looked like him.
Yeah.
And Salamander, of course, looked like Troughton.
Yeah. Which, honestly, it makes me want every Doctor, like, there's some, maybe not evil version, because I guess the priest wasn't that evil, per se. At least I don't remember. But, yeah, that... I kind of wish that's just a running thing, that there will always be some evil Doctor. So maybe at some point we will get an evil Pertwee. So, alrighty. Well, it's definitely, we started this episode thinking maybe the Doctor goes to hell, and obviously we weren't really thinking like that was going to happen, but it's something... Lava, inferno, fire, which we get a little bit of that, but not where I would have ever expected this episode to go.
No, this is quite a surprise, and quite a pleasant surprise too. I mean, just again, very well written. Now, some of the interrogations seemed a bit long, and but again, in the span of a 4-week period, I would have never noticed that.
Yeah. So, okay. Well. I mean, going over the notes, I mean, it's interesting, but it really does take a turn, towards the end there. But we can start with the drilling and what was the guy's name? It was Stallman? Stallman, yeah, okay. Couldn't read that properly. So yeah, Stallman, who definitely, it's one of those, and he's not bad, actually. Like, he's pretty good. He's not... overbearing, which I think some of our other stubborn leaders, I guess, we'll call this our Doctor Who stubborn leader trope. Some of them, they're just way too much and way too overbearing. Yeah. But Stallman, he works. He definitely works. Yeah. Even on both worlds too. So,
again, what I find interesting about this is that in real life, no matter how much you were promised, you can literally give us cheap energy that's going to run the country forever and ever. there's no way a government would have ever entrusted a single person with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we have the modern day, Elon Musk and Bill Gates and all these other people who are innovators of all different kinds, but there's never been a single person, not even Einstein in the Manhattan Project. Einstein was there with other people, who were all going, wait a minute, before we do this, let's figure out if we achieve atomic energy, and I realize we're going to try to make a bomb out of this, where does it go from there? Can we keep this genie in the bottle? And who was it? The scientist who ultimately, when he saw the first bomb go off, he basically said, I am the bringer of death. I mean, he quoted Oppenheimer, quoted the whatever the thing from Hinduism was, I have become death, or whatever that is. So
yeah, and I mean they kind of mention it. I don't remember which Earth they mentioned this on, but they do sort of mention like, oh well, the government, they won't get rid of Stallman because he's the only one who knows how to successfully run this project. And I was thinking maybe that's a hint that Sir Keith. I keep getting all these Sirs mixed up. We keep having new ones. But Sir Keith was, going to the Ministry to get Stallman out of there and stuff. I thought that was going to lead towards Petra taking over, because she seems to be like directly involved with everything. Like, it's possible that she knows enough, and if she takes the more cautious route, like Sutton is asking for and stuff, then maybe they could work with that. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if we're going to move to that sort of thing. Of course, we don't know what's going to be happening with Stallman. He's been infected, but he seems to be able to resist it more, or I mean, which again, Fury from the Deep, we had that too with Robson in there, where he was infected by the seaweed and stuff, and then he was the vessel for the seaweed leader or whatever. So maybe they're sort of doing that again, where this goo has chosen Stallman.
But here's the thing: I don't see any indication of any kind of alien or other life form that's actually controlling Stallman. I think it's just it's some organic material, again, like a virus or a bacteria or whatever. But it doesn't seem to be literally taking over his mind like the seaweed did.
Yeah, I mean, they're not doing anything. The people that are possessed are not doing anything in particular. Like they're almost just reverted to animals, basically.
And the reason I think that Stallman's able to resist is that he didn't actually touch the goo outright. He touched the container that it was in.
Yeah.
So that may be a difference. I don't know. And again, maybe they'll resolve that in the next 3 episodes.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Because the only thing he's really done against the project is taking out the microchip, but that was just because of the computer. That wasn't because of anything else. Maybe you could say maybe whatever is down there is, that maybe they're going to unleash it by drilling. So maybe it's trying to make sure that Stallman goes through with it. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. We had the TARDIS trial, which okay, hang on. I'm just going to assume that was the sonic screwdriver in some variety. So, I've had this since episode 1, by the way, and I got it just after we finished off Troughton, and I've kept this, and I just hid it away, waiting for the first time he uses it, because I was just going to get it out and be like, I have it already. But
so how many do you have now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Plus, I count the sunglasses anyway for Capaldi. But yeah, it didn't look like this exactly, though.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same sort of thing, and it kind of had the same sort of sound, but yeah.
This one doesn't have any flashy lights or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
No lights, just sound. So, yeah. But I've been waiting for weeks on end to get this out. And just be like, I already have it, and we're going to put it up here.
Now, to balance this, theoretically, I would think you would need to flip that around. Because that way... Because that one's got a thick end, and then so that... I don't know.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
I mean, they're all pointed towards that direction anyway, so I don't know.
I didn't realize that.
Well, but yeah, so I've had that, waiting for the moment when the Doctor has it, because I was just going to reach mine and be like, I have that already, but then he has this garage door opener, and it's like, I guess that's it? Maybe that's like a prototype he's working on?
You want me to go out to the car and get the garage door opener and put it there?
Yeah, so... but yeah, now, and that's why, since we started Pertwee, that... Because originally, like, these were all one level up, and I kept the sunglasses there.
Yeah.
So I moved the sunglasses over here. I've been waiting this whole time. So
You have way more patience than I do.
yeah. So, but close enough. We have that now. Let me just kind of line that up a little bit better too.
There you go.
So, yeah. Anywho, so the TARDIS trial run. Which you're right. It seems like an odd time to be doing this. Like, it wasn't, oh, something's going wrong with the TARDIS, and then he goes, and then he's trapped on the parallel Earth. It's that he specifically was like, well, they don't want me, so I guess I'll just go back and work on the TARDIS and steal their energy while I'm at it. So it seemed like an odd time when there was this sort of crisis that was brewing.
Yeah.
You know? Now, I brought up Krakatoa, but they haven't explained that fully. It's like, oh, that's why I heard that sound. And it's like, yes, and?
And again, maybe in the next 3 episodes we'll hear that, but so far it looks like a gigantic red herring.
Yeah, because we don't know anything about the goo and why it possesses people or just infects people, and why they're growing fur and becoming blue. Like, we don't know anything about this, so it could be something like, well, at Krakatoa, it's that sort of weird thing. Like, there was a weird thing that was happening there. I got something in my mouth just there. That was weird. Anyway, so it could be something like that, and oh, well, that's happening here because we'll have this huge volcanic eruption in the south of England because that's probably where we are.
Yeah.
And so that's going to set off this whole thing, but also unleash whatever thing is down there that's infecting. I don't know. Yeah. It's a whole thing that they just haven't explained.
And once again, we're 3 episodes away from the end of this season, and I don't think there's been a single exterior shot where it hasn't been raining or overcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
No sunshiny days ever in this part of England.
Not a one. So, and then yeah, so the Mirror Universe, Earth 2, again, really just took a hard left turn at Albuquerque there, and now it's this sort of plot line, which is very strange. Again, it almost makes you wonder, like, was this supposed to be like maybe they had 2 story ideas, and then but they didn't like work them all out yet. So then they were like, well, what if we combine them into one story? Yeah. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know, but this one is very strange. But
yeah, because the twist came completely out of the blue. When the Doctor tried to get the TARDIS restarted, and he was being stretched this way and the other way, there was no hint that there was something else. I mean, if he had looked and seen like a flash of the brigade leader's face, or Elizabeth's face, something that would have given a hint that this is where it was going. But it was just him being stretched all different ways, and he came back and said, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. And it's interesting doing this whole thing of, well, he goes to a parallel world where they're having the exact same problem, only a little bit faster. So it's like, oh, okay, well, that's really interesting. He's going to see how maybe everything goes wrong here, and then he's going to go back to our world, and he's going to fix everything from what he learned. But the setup of that just seems very strange and random. Well, he just decided, I'll go test the TARDIS again. Ended up on that other world, and it was the same thing. And
yeah, I mean, again, that's one of those things that could be fixed with a single line where he says, even before he starts working on the TARDIS, like, Unit is here and the Doctor is here because we are taking advantage of the nuclear power plant to conduct some experiments. And that way, when he goes and says, let's, try to start, jumpstart the TARDIS, whatever, that would be explained. But yeah, just to, in the middle of what seems to be already something that's going wrong, he just says, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to go try to escape this world and get back into my time slip or whatever it is."
Yeah.
With a bit of a mind flip here into the time slip.
Yeah. So, I mean, they could have even just passed it off as, well, while they're doing their thing, something goes wrong with the TARDIS. It shouldn't be getting energy because they shut it off, but it is getting energy. He goes back just in time, takes him and the car, and he hightails it over to the other dimension by accident. Yeah. Instead of, he just went and worked on the TARDIS for some reason. So, yeah. But we do have our mirror world with the RSF, the Republican Security Force, which is a very interesting sort of stand-in for unit there, as well as the brigade leader, which I like that they specifically change all their titles and stuff. Yeah. So instead of the brigadier, it's the brigade leader, and it's just a simple thing of, he's got a different outfit, obviously, but just a simple thing of take away his mustache and give him the eye patch and everything.
And the Heidelberg scar.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, you just look at it and it's like, where'd you get that scar, man? The other guy didn't have that. So I also like, specifically in his performance, where, normally the Brigadier, he's just sort of, sitting there and he's talking to whoever is there. I like this one specifically leans back in his chair. Like, very much like a Bond villain or something. Like, he's always leaned back while talking to the Doctor.
Doesn't, well, you wouldn't have probably known this, but I think in some of the earlier Bond films, Ernst Blofeld, especially I think Donald Pleasance, has a shaved head, but he's got the, Heidelberg scar. Although I don't think he wears an eye patch, he does have the dead eye, I think. So, again, I think it's cool that they're going with the whole James Bond thing because, again, Bond was very popular in the 60s and as it was switching over from Sean Connery to Roger Moore. So it's all working. I mean, it's keeping people coming back week after week going, well, he's not, going to see aliens on other planets or going back in history, but it's keeping their attention because this is the big thing at this point.
Yeah. Well, and even, too, because it's like, well, it's got elements of James Bond, but it's not a James Bond story. It's still very much a Doctor Who story. They go to this place, something is going wrong, the Doctor has to fix it and stuff like that. So, so there's at least that. It's just more James Bond sort of elements to keep your attention. Let's see. We talked about the Venusian karate, which was interesting. Again, just that I thought it was Venusian Aikido. Maybe they bring that up later, but at least he has it. Yeah. So, because without Jamie, he kind of has to be his own muscle now, and especially when separated from the Brigadier. But I can just imagine now, if this was a Troughton story and they'd probably all be taken to the Mirror Universe. I'd love to see how Jamie would deal with that, or even seeing Mirror Universe Jamie. Why would he be there? And, why would he be there, and what would a Mirror Universe Jamie be like? I would be curious about that. What does a Nazi-esque Highlander look like? I hope he has a full beard, You gotta change up the facial hair and stuff. Actually, yeah, for pretty much all of them except, like, Sutton. Yeah. But Sutton's the one who's not really that much different from his original counterpart. So, other than that, I mean, there's the countdown that, they are a lot closer and something's going to happen, and the Doctor tried to stop it, but that's not going too well.
Now, before the brigade leader stopped him, he was up there doing something, so I suspect the opening of episode 5 will be the fact that he has somehow managed to delay the implementation of the final breakthrough.
Yeah, so... but then it's a question of, is Stallman going to shoot him or not? So, which, I mean, I guess he could be shot without having to regenerate. Like, it could just be a wound, but...
Yeah. And Sutton could also... I didn't see Sutton in the room, or don't remember him in the room, but Sutton might, push his hand out of the way so that he doesn't shoot the Doctor. So.
Yeah.
Again, see, here's the thing. We're sitting here going, I wonder what's going to happen next, and that's what people in 1970 would have been doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Got to see the next episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's just such a strange turn in the middle of this. You know, like just I don't know. It's always so strange, but this one is particularly weird. Like, I didn't think that this episode would be the one to establish the multiverse in Doctor Who. You know, because we haven't had that yet in these 7 seasons. We haven't had any sort of parallel Earth thing. So, yeah, it's just a very strange episode, and also a very strange one to, go out with in season 7. So, yeah. You got anything else?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, next time around, we will finish off this story and season 7. And then, after that, we'll be once again watching Terror of the Autons, as well as picking up a 12th Doctor episode.
Cool.
To also watch that day.
I'm looking forward to Peter Capaldi.
Yeah. So look forward to that after we finish off Inferno. So with all that being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of our Doctor Who classic reactions, there is a playlist on screen, as well as a playlist for all of my modern Doctor Who reactions. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.